The Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria, AMCON, has scaled down Arik operations to less than 30%. The airline, which at its peak operated 120 flights a day, with 28 aircrafts, now operates about 15 flights daily with only 7 aircrafts. The depleted fleet has forced Arik to cut back its domestic and regional operations as it suspends its international service immediately after AMCON took over the company. Reports also say that international financiers and other creditors of the airline have concluded plans to sue the federal government after 30 days of AMCON management of the airline. An Air Peace B737 aircraft early in the week aborted its Lagos to Abuja flight after the aircraft tires burst after takeoff at the Murtala Mohammed Airport, Lagos. The 105 passengers in the aircraft, which was on top speed preparatory for takeoff when the incident occurred, were all disembarked and put in another aircraft for their journey to Abuja. In a statement issued by the airline, it stated that the incident was not a life-threatening one, as one of the tires of the aircraft got deflated and has been addressed. And to the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, where the federal government has approved the appointment of 5 new directors and 1 general manager. Those appointed are Group Captain Edem Oyoita, Director of Air Transport Regulations; Ahmed Sanusi, Director, Human Resources and Administration; Bilikisu Sani, Director of Finance and Accounts; Odonowo Adetunji, Director of Aerodrome and Airspace Standards; Engineer Ita Awak, Director of Airworthiness Standards; Lawrence Matthew Pojak, General Manager, Air Navigational Standards. These new appointments come on the heels of the sack of 8 directors from the agency. On the African continent, Kenya Aviation has joined 6 other African countries to attain the United States Department for Transport's Federal Aviation Administration Category 1 safety rating. According to a statement from the FAA, the U.S. Department of Transportation's Federal Aviation Administration announced that Kenya complies with international safety standards and has been granted a Category 1 rating under the agency's International Aviation Safety Assessment Program. The numbers of African countries with Category 1 now include Kenya, Nigeria, Cape Verde, Morocco, Egypt, South Africa, and Ethiopia. A Category 1 rating means Kenya's Civil Aviation Authority meets International Civil Aviation Organization standards. With the Category 1 rating, Kenya air carriers that are able to secure the requisite FAA and DOT authority can establish service to the United States and carry the code of U.S. carriers. As News Round winds down, 3 people have been killed and 2 others injured after a small plane crashed into a neighborhood near the airport in Riverside, California, destroying a home and touching up fires in several others. The Riverside Fire Chief said one of the passengers was able to give information about those on the plane.
Upon arrival, one of our engine companies made an aggressive interior attack, finding one of the victims. They were able to extricate that victim and actually start treatment, and that victim was transported to Arrowhead Memorial Hospital in San Bernardino. We also found an additional victim that was ejected from the airplane. That was actually one of the passengers. She was able to give us the most accurate information that there were 5 people on the plane. That person also gave us a little indication of they were here from San Jose for a cheer conference that is at Disneyland this week. So unfortunate we had that situation. We have recovered 4 victims that are deceased, and we're working closely with the NTSB and the Riverside Coroner's Office to make sure those people are taken care of.
A spokesman for the Federal Aviation Administration, Ian Gregor, said a Cessna 310 crashed under unknown circumstances about a half-mile northeast of Riverside Municipal Airport.
It's 7:35 p.m. as the Hercules C-139 taxis into the presidential hangar of the Lagos airport. Robed in its camouflage military color, many would expect to see troops disembark from the belly, but that's not the case. 41 females, mostly between ages 16 and 17, file out of the military craft. They're victims of human trafficking who got trapped in Mali in transit to Europe.
It is the responsibility of NAPTIP to rescue Nigerian children that are trafficked in or out of Nigeria, because human trafficking in Nigeria is both internal and external. There are children that are trafficked within Nigeria, there are those that are trafficked outside, both for labor exploitation and sexual exploitation. And so any victim that is rescued, either by NAPTIP or by our partners, as soon as they come in to Nigeria, NAPTIP, we have 8 zones, and in each of the zones, we have what we call a government shelter. At each of our shelter, we have caregivers. These are professional counselors, matrons, nurses. That is where we'll be taking these people to. It is their responsibility to care for victims of human trafficking.
They're back on home soil owing to the intervention of the Nigerian Air Force, the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, and the Office of the Special Advisor of the President on Diaspora.
Oh yes, poverty, but I think more of ignorance. And the more you see more of them come back to tell their stories of war, their stories, their traumatic stories, we hope that others will be discouraged from going on these dangerous, irregular journeys. And these are young girls. They're all girls are young. 15, 16, 17, pretty girls. So we must do a lot more to take care of these girls. There are 6 suspects, and they will be handed over to the appropriate authorities and will be tried. So we're glad that some of the suspects were caught. So there are 6 suspects, and we also got the madams too, who use them for different kinds of trafficking in some of these countries. At least they've been able to arrest some of them.
While 6 suspects are already in custody, NAPTIP says it will be assisting the young girls' return to meaningful existence, but parents and guardians must rise to the occasion.
People should go back to the basics, moral values. They should take care of their children. They should watch out for the friends their children keep. Effect of peer group is what has led most of these girls to going out to countries where they don't know. We talk about poverty. Poverty is one of the causes of trafficking. But when you look at the push and pull factors of trafficking, poverty is not the only cause. Ignorance, greed, the get-rich-quick syndrome. And then we, as parents, we've lost it. In a situation where a man who can take care of only 2 children, has 4 wives and 20 children, all the children are vulnerable to being trafficked. They give out their children without asking what these children will be taken out for.
Between October 2016 and now, over 700 Nigerians have returned home from different countries, with the majority from Libya. Our flight terminates here, and we look forward to your feedback via our social media portal. Thanks for watching, and see you next week, God's willing. I'm Bukola Joe Oketumbi.